Welcome friends, welcome to the Knowledge Club Online. Now I am going to discuss about the DNA repair mechanism after the DNA damage. The single strand and double strand DNA damage. Cells cannot function if DNA damage corrupts the integrity and accessibility of essential information in the genome. But cells remain superficially functional when non-essential genes are missing or damaged depending on the type of damage inflicted on the DNA's double helical structure. A variety of repair strategies have involved to restore lost information. If possible, cells use the unmodified complementary strand of the DNA or the sister chromatid as a template to recover the original information. Without access to the template, cells use an error-prone recovery mechanism known as translation synthesis as a last resort. Damage to DNA alters the spatial configuration of the helix, and such alterations can be detected by the cell. Once damage is localized, specific DNA repair molecules bind at or near the site of damage, including other molecules to bind and form a complex that enables the actual repair to take place. The direct reversal. Cells are known to eliminate three types of damage to their DNA by chemically reversing it. These mechanisms do not require a template since the types of damage to their DNA by chemically reversing it. These mechanisms do not require a template since the types of damage they counteract can occur in only one of the four bases. Such direct reversal mechanisms are specific to the type of damage incurred and do not involve breakage of the phosphodiester backbone. The formation of pyrimidine dimers upon irradiation with UV light results in an abnormal covalent bond between adjacent pyrimidine bases. The photoreactivation process directly reverses this damage by the action of the enzyme proteolysis, whose activation is obligately dependent on energy absorbed from blue UV light 300 to 500 nm wavelength to promote catalysis. Photolyze on old enzyme present in bacteria, fungi and most animals no longer functions in humans, who instead use nucleotide excision repair to repair damage from UV irradiation. Another type of damage, methylation of guanine bases, is directly reversed by the protein methylguanine methyltransferase MGMT, the bacterial equivalent of which is called OGT. This is an expensive process because each MGMT molecule can be used only once. That is, the reaction is stoichiometric rather than catalytic. A generalized response to methylating agents in bacteria is known as the adaptive response and confers a level of resistance to alkylating agents upon sustained exposure by upregulation of alkylation repair enzymes. The third type of DNA damage reversed by cells is certain methylation of the bases cytosine and adenine. The single-stranded DNA damage. When only one of the two strands of a double helix has a defect, and the other strand can be used as a template to guide the correction of the damaged strand. In order to repair damage to one of the two paired molecules of DNA, there exists a number of excision repair mechanisms that remove the damaged nucleotide and replace it with an undamaged nucleotide, complementary to that found in the undamaged DNA strand. Base excision repair repairs damage to a single nitrogenous base by deploying enzymes called glycosylase. These enzymes remove a single nitrogenous base to create an apirinic or pyrimidinic site, AP site. Enzymes are called AP endonuclease click the damaged DNA backbone at the AP site. DNA polymerase then removes the damaged region using its 5' to 3' exonuclease activity and correctly synthesizes the new strand using the complementary strand as a template. Nucleotide excision repair repairs damaged DNA, which commonly consists of bulky helix distorting damage such as pyrimidine dimerization caused by UV light. Damaged reactions are removed in 12 to 24 nucleotide long strands in a 3-step process which consists of recognition of damage, excision of damaged DNA both upstream and downstream of damage by endonuclease, and resynthesis of removed DNA region. NAR is a highly evolutionary conserved repair mechanism and is used in nearly all eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. In prokaryotes, NAR is mediated by UVR proteins. In eukaryotes, many more proteins are involved, although the general strategy is the same. Mismatch repair systems are present in essentially all cells to correct errors that are not corrected by proofreading. These systems consist of at least 2 proteins. One detects the mismatch and the other recruits an endonuclease that cleaves the newly synthesized DNA strand close to the region of damage. In E. coli, the proteins involved are the mutaclass proteins. This is followed by removal of damaged region by an exonuclease resynthesized by DNA polymerase and nick sealing by DNA ligase. Now come to the double-stranded breaks. Double-stranded breaks in which both strands in the double helix are resolved are particularly hazardous to the cell because they can be lead to the genome rearrangement. 3 mechanisms exist to repair double-stranded breaks: non-homologous end joining, microhomology mediated end joining, and homologous recombination. PVN IKEA noted that double-stranded breaks and cross-linkage joining both strands at the same point is irreparable because neither strand can then serve as a template for repair. The cell will die in the next mitosis or in some rare instances mutate. DNA ligase shown above repairing chromosomal damage is an enzyme that joins broken nucleotides together by catalyzing the formation of an internucleotide ester bond between the phosphate backbone and the deoxyribose nucleotides. In NHEG, DNA ligase 4, a specialized DNA ligase that forms a complex with the cofactor XRCC4 directly joins the two ends. The guide accurate repair NHEJ relies on short homologous sequences called microhomologies present on the single-stranded stays on the DNA ends to be joined. If these overhands are compatible, repair is usually accurate. NHEJ can also introduce mutations during repair. Loss of damaged nucleotides at the break site can lead to deletions and joining of non-matching termini forms translocations. NHEJ is especially important before the cell has replicated its DNA since there is no template available for repair by homologous recombination. There are backup NHEJ pathways in higher eukaryotes. Besides its role as a genome creator, NHEJ is required for joining hairpin capped double-strand breaks induced during VDJ recombination, the process that generates diversity in B cell and T cell receptors in the vertebrate immune system. Homologous recombination requires the presence of an identical or nearly identical sequence to be used as a template for repair of the brain. The enzymatic machinery responsible for this repair process is necessarily identical to the machinery responsible for chromosomal crossover during meiosis. This pathway allows a damaged chromosome to be repaired using a sister chromatid available in G2 after DNA replication or a homologous chromosome as a template. DSB is caused by the replication machinery attempting to synthesize across a single-strand break or unrepaired lessons cause collapse of the replication fork and are typically repaired by recombination. Topoisomerase introduce both single and double-strand breaks in the course of changing the DNA's state of supercoiling, which is especially common in regions near an open replication fork. Such breaks are not considered DNA damage because they are a neutral intermediate in the topoisomerase biochemical mechanism and are immediately repaired by the enzyme that created them. A term of French researchers bombarded Deinococcus radiodurans to study the mechanisms of double-strand breaks DNA repair in that organism. At least 2 copies of the genome with random DNA breaks can form DNA fragments through annealing. Partially overlapping fragments are then used for synthesis of homologous regions through a moving D-loop that can continue extension until they find complementary partner strands. In the final step, there is crossover by means of REC-A dependent homologous recombination. Now the transaction synthesis. Transaction synthesis (TLS) is a DNA damage tolerance process that allows the DNA replication machinery to replicate past DNA lessons such as thymine dimers or API. It involves switching out regular DNA polymerase for specialized translation polymerases, that is DNA polymerase 4 or 5, often with larger activity sites that can facilitate the insertion of bases of opposite damaged nucleotides. The polymerase switching is thought to be mediated by, among other factors, the post-transcriptional translational modifications of the replication processivity factor pCNA. Translation synthesis polymerases often have low fidelity, high propensity to insert wrong bases on undamaged templates relative to regular polymerases. However, many are extremely efficient at inserting correct bases of opposite specific types of damage. For example, Pol-eta mediates error-free bypass of lesions induced by UV irradiation, whereas Pol-tau introduced mutations at these sites. Pol-eta is known to add the first adenine across the T versus T photodimer crossing using Watson-Crick base pairing, and the second adenine will be added in its syn conformation using Hunstein base pairing. From a cellular perspective, risking the introduction of point mutations during translation synthesis may be preferable to resorting to more drastic mechanisms of DNA repair, which may cause gross chromosomal abbreviation or cell death. In short, the process involves specialized polymerase either bypassing or repairing lesions at locations of stalled DNA replication. For example, human DNA polymerase it can bypass complex DNA lesions like guanine-thymine intrastrand cross-link, although can cause targeted and semi-targeted mutations. Paramita Roy-Choudhury and Ashish Basu studied the toxicity and mutagenesis of the same lesions in E. coli by replicating a G852MET modified plasmid in Escherichia coli with a specific DNA polymerase knockouts. Viability was very low in a strain lacking Pol2, Pol4 and Pol5, the three source-inducible DNA polymerase, indicating that translation synthesis is conducted primarily by these specialized DNA polymerase. A bypass platform is provided to these polymerases by proliferating cell nuclear region (pCNA). Under normal circumstances, pCNA-bound polymerase aggregates the DNA. At a site of lesions, pCNA is ubiquitous or modified by the Rad6, Rad18 proteins to provide a platform platform provide a platform for the specialized polymerases to bypass the lesions and resume DNA replication. After translation synthesis, extension is required. This extension can be carried out by a replicative polymerase if the TLS is error-free, as in the case of Pol eta, yet if TLS results in a mismatch, a specialized polymerase is needed to extend it. Pol-Shy is unique in that it can extend terminal mismatches, whereas more processes polymerases cannot. So, when a lesion is encountered, the replication fork will stall. PCNA will switch from a processive polymerase to a TLS polymerase such as Pol-Tau to fix the lesion. Then PCNA may switch to Pol-Shy to extend the mismatch, and last PCNA will switch to the processive polymerase to continue replication. Now, the global response to DNA damage. Cells exposed to ionizing radiation, ultraviolet light or chemicals are prone to acquire multiple sites of bulky DNA lesions and double-strand breaks. Moreover, DNA damaging agents can damage other biomolecules such as proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and RNA. The accumulation of damage, to be specific, double-strand breaks or adduct stalling the replication fork are among known stimulation signals for a global response to DNA damage. The global response to damage is an act directed towards the cell's own preservation and triggers multiple pathways of macromolecular repair. Lesion bypass, tolerance or apoptosis. The common features of global responses are induction of multiple genes, cell cycle arrest, and inhibition of cell division. What is the DNA damage checkpoints? After DNA damage, cell cycle checkpoints are checkpoint activation is controlled by two master kinases, ATM and ATR. ATM responds to DNA double-strand breaks and disruptions in chromatin structure, whereas ATR primarily responds to stalled replication forks. These kinases phosphorylate downstream targets in a signal transduction cascade, eventually leading to cell cycle arrest. A class of checkpoint-mediated proteins including BRCA1, MDC1 and 53BP1 has also been identified. These proteins seem to be required for transmitting the checkpoint activation signal to downstream proteins. An important downstream target of ATM and ATR is p53, as it is required for inducing apoptosis following DNA damage. The cyclin-dependent kinase inhibitor p21 is induced by both p53-dependent and p53-independent mechanisms and can arrest the cell cycle at the G1S or G2M checkpoints by deactivating cyclin or cyclin-dependent kinase complexes. The prokaryotic SOS response. The SOS response is the change in gene expression in Escherichia coli and other bacteria in response to extensive DNA damage. The prokaryotic SOS system is regulated by two key proteins, LEX-A and REC-A. The LEX-A homodimer is a transcriptional repressor that binds to operator sequences. Homodimer sequences commonly refers to as SOS boxes. In Escherichia coli, it is known as LEX-A regulates the transcription of approximately 48 genes, including the LEX-A and REC-A genes. The SOS response is known to be widespread in the bacteria domain, but it is mostly absent in some bacteria phyla, like the spider suggests. The most common cellular signals activating the SOS response are regions of single-stranded DNA arising from stalled replication forks or double-strand breaks, which are processed by DNA helicase to separate the two DNA strands. In the initiation step, REC-A protein binds to ssDNA in an ATP hydrolysis-driven reaction, creating REC-A ssDNA filaments. REC-A ssDNA filaments activate LEX-A autoprotease activity, which ultimately leads to cleavage of LEX-A dimer and subsequent LEX-A degradation. The loss of LEX-A repressor induces transcription of the SOS genes and allows for further signal induction, inhibition of cell division, and an increase in levels of proteins responsible for damage processing. In Escherichia coli, SOS boxes are 20 nucleotide long sequences near promoters with palindromic structure and a high degree of sequence conservation. In other classes and phyla, the sequence of SOS boxes varies considerably with a different length and composition, but it is always highly conserved and one of the strongest short signals in the genome. The high information content of SOS boxes permits a differential binding of LEX-A to different promoters and allows for timing on the SOS response. The lessons repair genes are induced at the beginning of SOS response. The error-prone translation polymerase, for example, UMUCD2, also called DNA polymerase 5, are induced later on as a last resort. Once the DNA damage is repaired or bypassed using polymerase or through recombination, the amount of single-stranded DNA in cells is decreased. Lowering the amounts of REC-A filaments decreased cleavage activity of LEX-A homodimer, which then binds to the SOS boxes near promoters and restores normal gene expression. What happened? The eukaryotic transcriptional response to DNA damage. Eukaryotic cells exposed to DNA damaging agents also activate important defensive pathways by inducing multiple proteins involved in DNA repair. Cell cycle checkpoint control, protein trafficking and degradation. Such a genome-wide transcriptional response is very complex and tightly regulated, thus following coordinated global response to damage. Exposure of yeast Saccharomyces cerevisiae to DNA damaging agents results in overlapping but distinct transcriptional profiles. Similarities to environmental shock response indicates that a general global stress response pathway exists at the level of transcriptional activation. In contrast, different human cell types respond to damage differently, indicating an absence of a common global response. The probably explanation of this difference between yeast and human cells may be in the heterogeneity of mammalian cells. In an animal, different types of cells are distributed among different organs that have evolved different sensitivities to DNA damage. In general, global response to DNA damage involves the expression of multiple genes responsible for post-replication repair, homologous recombination, nucleotide excision repair, DNA damage checkpoint, global transcriptional activation, genes controlling mRNA decay, and many others. A large amount of damage to a cell leaves it with an important decision: undergo apoptosis and die, or survive at the cost of living with a modified genome. An increased tolerance to damage can lead to an increased rate of survival that will allow a greater accumulation of mutations. Yeast REF1 and human polymerase eta are numbers of Y family translation DNA polymerase present during global response to DNA damage and are responsible for enhanced mutagenesis during a global response to DNA damage in eukaryotes. This lecture may be helpful to you. Thank you.